Good morning, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to everyone to First Saturdays, to our May 3rd Saturday Meditate, Breathe, and Move with Clear Spirit. I'm TanyaMarck, and this is Nick Venegoni. We're so grateful to be here with you. Today's practice, we will be working with a track curated and alchemized by Nick and myself that carry the May vibes and frequencies. So we're working with our May energies coming into spring. We also sprinkled some planetary stuff in there. So we have Venus is doing a lot right now, being in Aries and hanging out with Neptune. So you'll hear us sprinkle all of these beautiful energies into our practice. We'll be breathing, moving, and meditating today. So we want you to honor your body, your system, where you're at in those abilities. And we will most certainly be providing more in-depth instruction as we roll into practice. We want to definitely mention here gratitude to all of our teachers and lineages. You'll also hear us sprinkle those into practice today. The first part of practice will be myself. We're going to be kind of awakening with a little morning vibe, and then we're going to have a little transition and then go into a little afternoon vibe of a little bit of an afternoon saunter. And then Nick is going to take us through a really lovely Beltane meditation. So we'll have a little evening portion of practice. So practice is split up into 3 mini sessions today. All right, y'all. Today we're going to be working with our natural inhale and exhale, and I'm going to invite us to find light movement. So I want to invite you. I'm going to turn my camera off and we're going to get ready to drop in. So, wishing everyone a beautiful practice today. And as we take a moment to ground in today, I want to invite you to connect to your natural inhale and exhale and just say a little hello to the breath. And maybe as you greet your breath, you find that your body wants to just move a tiny bit, its energy, and we welcome that in. So today in practice, you'll work with that natural inhale and exhale. As we take a moment to call in our tools, our guides, our practices, always for the highest good of all. Bringing in the morning, beginning vibes and energies so soft and gently. Acknowledging and calling in our ancestors, our queer ancestors, our transcestors. Inviting you to call in any morning scenario that feels soft and nurturing and supportive. What do you see? What do you hear? What can you touch? What can you taste? And what do you sense? Inhaling through the nose, releasing through the mouth. Honoring the stars, the cosmos, the element of air, all of our animals, the sun, all of our spiritual aspects. Our crystals, our minerals, the element of fire. I invite you in this moment to find a tiny bit more of movement in the body, acknowledging it as energy. And anything that we need to release today in practice, we can send to Pachamama Earth. She'll take it and recycle it, transmute it, transform it. Honoring the element of water, the moon, our feelings, our emotions, our spidey senses, our inner knowing. Our plants, our flowers, our mycelial network. The element of water and its energies of activation and cleansing. And as we honor this awakening and beginning and morning energy, the invite is to find a little stretch or bend in the body. Maybe the wiggling of the toes, the moving of the fingers, the opening and closing of the jaw. Taking a moment and bringing in those beautiful, potent intentions. We continue to ground and root into our practice this morning. We find that we need it today. As we exhale, we can use an SH or an audible sigh, helping to release those energies, letting go of what no longer serves, making space for what aligns. I want to invite in some gentle sway into the body. If you find your system wanting to yawn, honor it as energy. Amazing, y'all. Can we find some stretch and bend in the shoulders and neck and head? Perhaps just gently moving our head side to side. And if we're not quite there yet where we want to physically move, we can visualize it. Visualize that happening in our body and in our systems, meeting our body and systems exactly where they're at. Inviting in perhaps a little bit of a deeper inhale and exhale. Maybe we feel a change in body temperatures. Our system kind of awakens and begins to percolate. Perhaps we begin to find some sway and roll in other parts of our bodies, at the ankles, the knees, the elbows. Some rolling of the shoulders, the wrists. Giving love to both directions, both sides. So if we're going clockwise, honoring counterclockwise. Giving love to the right, to the left, to the front, to the back, to the bottom, to the top. Ooh. I want to bring in and call in some gratitude to our little morning sesh here. Gratitude to our tools and guides and practices, to our teachers. Gratitude for our body, our breath, our systems, for bringing us back to center, back to being present today, right here, right now. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Amazing, y'all. Just a little transition here. Maybe having a sip of hydration. Ooh, finding a little shift in your position. We're going to gently transition into an afternoon saunter. And as we do so, adjusting your body, your position, your vibe. The invite is to stay connected to your inhale and exhale. If it feels good and you want to stand and find some movement in a sauntering standing position, please do. As we move into this afternoon saunter, I want to invite, if it feels good, for the space and the vibe and the container that you've created to shift into an afternoon vibe. What might that look like for you? An invite to call in our ancestors, transcestors, queer ancestors to join us on our saunter. To invite our inner child or inner children to join us. Any energies that feel aligned, that may need a saunter. And you feel the warmth of the sun, or perhaps the coolness of the gray, maybe a sprinkle of rain, a gentle breeze. I want to invite us to find some sway in the body, swaying left to right, right to left. And if it feels good, allowing our limbs to just freely sway with us, inviting the head and neck, honoring the energies of connecting and community today. Honoring our authentic selves, personal and collective peace and healing, presence and slowing down. As you begin to saunter in your beautiful nature-filled afternoon, I invite you to continue to connect with your breath. As you sway and saunter, what no longer serves is just gently released and let go of. Making space for you to move toward your dreams. Making space for us to embody our values. To be adaptable. Honoring the energies of reset. This being our special time of year. Honoring all of our native lands and the stewards of those lands. Filling our cup. finding our energy, the joy of being in community. You may be experiencing change in body temperature, and that's energy flowing through your system. Some of you may be releasing, some of you may be recharging, some of us may be doing both, just honoring those vibes. Perhaps along our saunter, we pause to spend some time with a plant or a flower or a being. And as we pause during our saunter, we find a stretch, perhaps taking our hands and arms and slowly raising them to above our head. Maybe finding some movement with our hands and arms, some light swaying with our arms, which kind of rolls into our lower extremities, our hips. Ooh, beautiful, y'all. Opening and closing the eyes, the mouth. We begin to saunter again and pause as needed, honoring our elements of earth, air, fire, water, ether, and spirit. Can we sprinkle the energies of support and care and understanding and grace and forgiveness and love and peace, and sprinkle those into our past, into our present, our future, sharing those energies with all iterations of self, our community, the collective. Finding a bit more stretch in the body, a little bend, some extension or flexion, perhaps by looking up or even looking down to the right or to the left, twisting the torso. That's it. How about a little shimmy, a little shake, a little brushing off, helping to move any energies that don't belong in our body and our systems. And most certainly bringing in gratitude. Gratitude for those that joined us during our afternoon saunter. Gratitude for getting back to being in the present, for finding our breath, working with our bodies and movement. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Incredible, y'all. Woo! Just a little bit more shimmy and shake. Shaking our tail feathers a bit. Woo! Yeah. If it feels good, just inviting you to take a sip of hydration as we're going to transition and move into the lovely portion guided by Nick, that we shift our positions, do what is needed to stay comfy and cozy.
Beautiful work, everyone. Just continuing to stay with the visions, the energies, the insights that have emerged from the movement and breathing and gratitude practices. And we begin to transition into our guided meditation. And as I shared earlier, the intention today is to cultivate the energies of May and spring and Beltane. And so I just want to share a little bit about those energies and those practices with you. So Beltane is the Celtic pagan holiday that is generally celebrated around May 1st. And it marks the midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And so it's a time of just connecting in with the energies of the earth at that time. You know, so spring is beginning to be in full bloom. Lots of pollen is being released. Lots of flowers are blossoming. The beginning of fruit is starting to come into season. You know, a lot of those beautiful flowers turn into fruit when we get to summertime or even in the fall. And it's also around the same time as the Roman holiday Floralia, which honors the Roman pagan goddess Flora. You know, so again, it's a time of noticing the flowers blooming, and the earth is waking up and beginning to come into its more full energy. And it's also a time for us to tune into those energies in our lives and our bodies. As those of us in the northern hemisphere, you know, the cold is beginning to recede, the warmth is beginning to come forward more in our bodies and our minds. And maybe it's a time when our erotic energy starts to wake up. our creative energy. So we're going to work with all of these different energies today in our guided meditation. So just taking some time now to really just settle in, if you want to be still, or continue that moving or swaying. And just turning your awareness inside. And maybe just noticing what in our minds, our bodies, our hearts, our spirits, whatever coldness, stiffness, dustiness from the winter, whatever needs to be released and shaken off. So just allowing yourself to release, to crack open whatever shells we've created to protect us through winter. To begin to allow the petals of your heart, of your soul, to open, to unfurl into the warm spring light. Another significant image in Beltane is the fires of Beltane. So perhaps sensing or feeling or imagining lighting a little fire for yourself. Using a little spark of inspiration, of passion, of revolution, of justice, and igniting that fire. That fire begins to glow and grow, just releasing, cleansing, offering those dry, dusty shells to the fire. Releasing and offering that which no longer serves. We're in a new phase now. Shake it off. Let it go. Drop it into the fire. And as you give offerings to the fire, it begins to grow higher and brighter, bigger and hotter. It warms your skin, warms your heart. Perhaps you gaze into that fire. What do you see? What do you hear in the cracks and the pops, the sizzles Are there messages from the earth? Messages from the ancestors? Perhaps your guides, your gods are speaking to you through that fire, through visions or sounds. What do they say? What do they show you? And perhaps the cleansing continues, but the fires also inspire you to move, to dance. The fire brings you blessings, brings you inspiration. Inspiration in your body, inspiration in your heart, inspiration in your spirit. And you begin to dance with the fire, and it dances back with you. Flickering flames begin to taunt and tease you, inviting you closer, but not too close. And the fire says, "Jump over me. Jump around me, and I will grant your wishes. I will show you visions. Visions of what can be. What can you create? How can you use this potent spring energy to create, to manifest? If you just unfurl those petals of your heart, of your spirit, what is the fruit that will emerge from that flower? Just allowing the heat of the fire to open, to inspire. What is the beautiful sweet nectar of your flower that you bring forth into the world to inspire sweetness and beauty? Inspire nourishment. Feeling the possibility of that in your body, in your heart, in your spirit. And allowing the heat of the sun, of the fire, as the sun moves higher and higher, closer to the point of the equinox. But we're not there yet. Allowing it to inspire, to open you up. to allow the bright color inside of you to shine, to show, to attract the pollinators who will help you bring this into into manifestation. Just allowing yourself to bring this inspiration, this arousal of the heart, and carry it forward with you through the season. Feeling it in your breath, in your body, in your heart, in your spirit. And slowly coming back to your breath and your body in this time, in this world, in this place. Perhaps taking a deeper breath into your chest. Slowly beginning to stretch and move your body. Perhaps wiggling your fingers or your toes. And taking all the time you need to slowly find yourself coming back to the room, opening your eyes, perhaps feeling the need for some hydration or nourishment in your physical body once more. Perhaps writing or recording, reflecting on your dreams, your visions, your insights. And when you're ready, slowly coming back to carry this energy with you through the rest of the day, through the rest of the season.